Young king, you could call the kid sire. Young legend, wanna wait, I'm trying to build empires. No days off, I can never stop grinding. Even when I get the days where the bezels on me shining. Got me dancing like some old flag, I got it.
Hey, welcome guys. Welcome to the Not So Privileged podcast. My name is Kenny,
I'm Joe.
and we're just happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happened since our last episode. It's been about a year.
It's been over a year, actually.
Yeah,
You know,
no, definitely. There's a lot changed. As I can see, we're in a different studio and we're in a different state.
down there in Texas, Dallas, Texas.
No, Dallas, Texas. No, it's been a year now since we've been out here.
Yep. And do you know what brought us out here?
Yeah, we brought an insurance agency. We started our own thing. It's called Simple Safe Insurance Agency, and it's what we've been doing it for a year, and it's been good. It's been good.
Hey, and look, I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of people like, hey, Kenny, why did you and Joe decide to open up or own your own insurance agency? And honestly, the only answer is why not, right? When you own your insurance agency, you are able to control, or I don't want to even say control. When you own your own insurance agency, you're able to make money on commissions that come in when you're selling new policies, and you're able to make money on the renewals. So basically what that means is if you have an insurance policy, your insurance policy renews every 6 months or every year, depending on the policy term. So every time it renews, you get paid again. So it's a nice little cycle when you build up a nice book of business. Let's say if you have 1,000 policies in there and those 1,000 policies are renewing every 6 months or a year, you're getting paid on that continuously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look, I mean, doing this thing on your own is, I mean, I have a partner, but like running out and doing having your own agency is, could be scary, but the benefits in the long run is like the earning potential. There's no ceiling, and yeah, P&C is the perfect industry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, and that's pretty much what we focus on primarily, property and casualty.
Mhm.
And a lot of people ask me, dude, I don't know what property and casualty means, right?
Yeah.
So property and casualty is just writing insurance for personal lines and commercial lines, right? Now, what's personal lines and commercial lines? Personal lines is insurance for products like auto insurance, home insurance, umbrella insurance. Anything that you consider a personal product for any personal individual falls under personal lines. And commercial lines is insurance for businesses. So if you're looking for general liability, commercial property insurance, workers' comp insurance, commercial auto insurance, that falls under commercial lines. So these are products that business owners and individuals need on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I was just thinking, what would you say is the difference between the Texas market and New York market since we just moved out it?
Well, that's a loaded question. Very, very loaded question. I mean, when you're looking at the New York insurance market, it's a little tough. It's very, the underwriting can be very strict when it comes to auto insurance. These days, it feels like New York doesn't want any cars on the road. So you see that reflected in pricing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been having a hard time in New York just finding auto insurance. So when we first got down here to Dallas, we noticed that it's a lot easier to write insurance. A lot of carriers want to be here in the state of Texas, and pricing hasn't been a problem.
Yeah. Now, one thing I noticed is the difference in the state minimum coverage. So
Yeah.
when I came down here, uninsured motorists, that type of coverage is mandatory in New York. Out here, it's optional. So I used to always quote out the liability coverage with the uninsured motorist coverage. And then I realized, people was like, why my liability insurance is so expensive? People, I was just like, yeah, I'm quoting you with just liability. But then I realized that out here in Texas, they don't require it. So when they ask for liability insurance, it's liability insurance.
Just basic liability.
Yeah, this is really crazy,
Yeah.
But I always try to push that coverage.
I think it's definitely great to have.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that if you get into an accident with someone who doesn't have insurance,
Yeah.
at least you're covered.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Mhm.
But besides that, the insurance, I mean, part, what would you say the difference in like type of how things are like in like lifestyle between like New York, Texas? What would you say the difference in lifestyle?
Well, look, New York, New York is fast paced,
Yeah, real
extremely
fast
fast
paced.
paced.
Yeah.
Now now here in Dallas, I see the difference, but Dallas isn't slow.
Yeah, no.
It's
I feel like it's the traffic is the same. I feel like because I mean in New York you're not going as far, and Texas you're going like further, but I feel like the traffic is the same. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I remember being on those highways in New York, and it's
Mhm.
literally the same kind of bumper to bumper feeling when, when you're leaving around 4 o'clock.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. No. But I would say the food as well. Probably different. Like in New York, you get a little bit more variety, and down here it's just barbecue. Like what is it? Hutchins Barbecue?
Hutchins,
Oh,
yeah,
if y'all ever down in Dallas, go to Hutchins Barbecue. You get the brisket is good. What else they have out there? The ribs is man good. Yeah. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah, and that wasn't a promo, so
That was free. That was free.
so so everyone keeps asking me, is insurance recession proof?
I would say it is recession proof because the state required by every state you need insurance. You need auto insurance. You need auto insurance if you get a new vehicle. You need full coverage
Right.
from like the finance company requires full coverage. For homes, you're gonna need home insurance. Of course, the mortgage is gonna require that. Just in case the house like burns down, you can replace the house. It's like an asset that
Yeah.
you want to make sure that something to happen. You can rebuild the home. Yeah. What about you? What you think?
Look, recession proof is a very strong word,
It has its cycles.
right? I feel like for anything to be recession proof, it depends on what you put into it.
Hmm.
Insurance is like you said, insurance is a mandatory product when it comes to car insurance, home insurance, and even business
Business
insurance.
insurance, of course. Yeah.
If you ever need to rent or lease a commercial space, the landlord usually requires that you have some kind of general liability in place. But yeah, I would say insurance is recession proof. Whenever you're dealing with things that are mandatory,
Hmm.
um, you can't really go wrong. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And for us, we're independent agents, right? So basically what that means is we work with a variety of carriers. So if one carrier decides to pull back and say, all right, you know what, we're not going to write insurance for the next foreseeable future,
Mhm.
we have access to more carriers where we're not stuck to just one product,
Yeah.
right? Um, and for the people who don't know, what's the difference between like a independent agent and like a
And a captive agent.
yeah.
I'll answer that. Like based on what you said though. Um, when you said insurance, like I would say insurance is like cycles. So like there'll be some times where the P&C market is really, really like I would say the personal market is really, really up.
Right.
And the business insurance is like, the market's down, it's expensive. People not a lot of people are, really buying new commercial policies. And then it's like I would say like a seesaw. When the commercial market is up, the personal lines is down. That's what I would say on the cycles insurance. And then the difference between independent and captive is independent. You can work with so many different carriers. You're not working with just one carrier. So, like if you're a captive agent, if you're selling State Farm policies, you're gonna have to sell State Farm. Everything got to be State Farm. You can only market State Farm if they let you market. Like State Farm is your only product, but with the independent side, you get a variety of doing. There's so much things that you can do. If you want to write commercial business and work with commercial carriers, you could. If you want to write business with just personal lines like auto, home, umbrella, and just stick to that niche, you can do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to like a captive agency, I like to call it the golden handcuffs, right? Because yes, when the market is good and they're writing business, there's no problems. But what if that carrier decides to say, all right, you know what, we've taken up too much market share, we have to put a pause on new business. You as an agent still have a family to feed, you still have to be able to bring more money.
Yeah.
So now if the carrier stops accepting new business, now what are you gonna do to write new business? Now at that point you're stuck.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to being independent, there's no ceiling.
Yeah.
So you can continuously write with multiple carriers. And as an independent agent, you don't work for the carrier, right? You work for your client.
Yeah.
As opposed to being a captive agent where you work for the carrier and you're looking for the right client that fits their structure or their underwriting structure.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two biggest things that I look at.
Yeah, and with the independent side, it's more of like you get ownership. You can have ownership on the captive side as well. But like say you work with a State Farm, you see people face this John Smith State Farm agency. It's not John Smith State Farm agency. It's State Farm's agency. It just has John Smith name on it. So say if he were to pass or something like that, God forbid or whatever, and that State Farm book of business stays with State Farm. It doesn't get passed on to his kids. So that's one big thing you want to look at as well. And with the independent side, you can do a lot. You can build your book up to $100 million in premium, and if you want to sell to private equity at whatever multiple, usually the industry standard is about 6 to 8 times. You could sell to them.
Yeah. No, definitely. And then, for you, like insurance is like broad, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the avenues that we can make money in insurance as agents?
There's so much avenues you can make money. So you can do. You probably, a lot of people like hear of like life agents. They just sell life insurance. You can do that. Or you could do commercial. You can just sell commercial policies. So commercial policy, you can sell general liability insurance. You can sell workers' comp insurance, commercial auto. You can sell what else, like commercial property insurance.
Commercial property.
Yeah.
You could do trucking and just
Yep.
focus on just that niche. I know a lot of agents not a lot, but I know a few agents who focus solely on workers' comp insurance.
Yeah.
Where they make relationships with payroll providers and just take on the business that way. Or you could just focus on just like, home insurance, right? You create all of these relationships with the loan officers and realtors where you're the number one option when it comes to home insurance.
Yeah.
And then, that's just as an agent, right? One thing that we did when we came down here is we acquired agencies.
Yes.
Right. So that's something that I feel like, we don't really know too much about. And when I say we, I'm talking about us as people. The acquisition space is big.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very big. The average agency owner, their age is anywhere between 55 and 65 years old. So this is an industry where agency owners are either retiring and selling their business, or they're retiring and they're trying to pass their business down to their kids. But, insurance isn't the funnest industry, right? It's technically considered boring.
Yeah.
So this is a good opportunity where you can come in and acquire an agency. You can even broker an agency out to another seller and be that broker who can make a percentage on the sale. Or, you could just buy as many agencies, package it up, and sell it to private equity. Private equity companies, they love insurance companies, right? The same way how banks love to lend to insurance companies. I think insurance is top 3 safest industries that banks lend to. So if the banks are willing to give you money for it, then this industry may be something that's a viable option, right? So insurance, at least on the PNC side, there's a lot of ways where you can make money in this space.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a lot of ways to make money. So for us, we like to have a mixture of everything. It's like auto, home, commercial. We don't do life. We're gonna get into that, but it's good to have a mixture in everything. Like just like how your like investment portfolio, like you don't want to invest in just one stock, like put all your money in one stock. You want to be diverse. It's the same thing with insurance. You want to have auto, home, commercial. You want to have everything everything spread out. And if you really, really want to build like a big insurance agency, you can acquire business as well and write new business, and that's the fastest way for growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But look, we're not gonna just tell you all of the upside.
Yeah.
There is downsides as well.
Of course. Yeah.
So like, for you, what have you experienced? Any problems? Or like what kind of problems have you experienced running an agency?
Ooh. As in like in the management side, like
Yeah, from a management perspective and a business owner perspective.
like I would say, so as an agency owner, there's only so much you can do, and you're dealing with a lot of clients. So I would say your employees is probably the biggest thing. Like the thing that you want to do as an agency owner is make sure your employees are properly trained. One downside is, say that there's a policy written wrong, clients could actually try to come and sue you because the policy was written wrong. So you want to make sure you have that E&O coverage. But to avoid that, you want to make sure that everybody's properly trained and knowledgeable about insurance and know the processes and having documents stored properly and things like that. What do you think?
I agree. I think just training is a big thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you are going to write all lines of businesses, you have to know every single line like the back of your hand. And I think the second biggest thing that even I struggled with when we first did this was delegating.
Oh yeah.
Right? You gotta know how to delegate. We started off as producers, right? Yeah. We started off as guys who would sell policies, and that was our main focus. So now whenever we come across a referral, it's like, all right, we have producers now, so let's assign it over. We can't, write the policy, service it, and think that we could continue to run the business that way. It'll be hard to grow if you are, just focused on doing everything yourself. So I think that was the second biggest thing that I struggled with. And I want to say the last one is pretty much trying to replicate yourself in another producer. You may know everything, but it's going to be hard to like replicate that in another agent. So the ones that you can do it with are probably the best agents. And it's not for me, when I'm looking at new agents, that's not even like the main focus for me to see if I can replicate it. The biggest thing that I look for first is anyone that I can work with, like I can genuinely work with, someone who's teachable, someone who wants to learn.
Mm-hmm. What's that saying you always say? It's
look, you gotta have a PhD, right? You gotta have a PhD. And when I say PhD, I don't mean any degree that you're getting from school. Me, I had my PhD. I was poor, hungry, and determined when I started. And you don't have to be poor, right? But you have to have that mindset, right? You gotta be hungry and you gotta want to do it. So if you have all three, then you're gonna thrive in any industry, especially in this space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And look, you like all the work that you put in, say you sell about, I want to say 300,000 in premium. The next year, like if it renews, you get paid again
Right.
on that hard work.
Right.
So you only have to do the work at least one time, and then you have to just service the policies. And yeah,
Yeah. And look, this is gonna be a new model for me now, right? But I always say do it right the first time.
oh yeah, definitely.
Right? If you do it right the first time, from there is just servicing, right? So servicing means picking up your phone, answering questions, right? Picking up your phone, having the conversation with your clients. Because if you don't have the conversation, somebody else will, right? And how many people want to get paid just to talk, right? It's not physical labor. It's you using your knowledge, using your information, using the tools that you have to help your client.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, no, I like that. What would you say is the work life balance for like insurance agencies?
I mean, look, first year there is no work-life balance. I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, I would say like, okay, so if you're a producer, your work life balance 9 to 5. You think about whatever you got to do, and then after 5 o'clock, yeah, you're good. Like you don't think about it. But as an agency owner, it's different. It's 7 days a week. You're thinking about it all day, every day. You're thinking about it. I would say.
Hey,
And-
I mean, I remember being a producer,
Mhm.
and I understood that my pay was directly correlated to how
Let's
much
go.
work I put in.
Yep, exactly.
Right. So even as a producer, I didn't have any work-life balance because I knew the goal that I wanted to hit.
Hmm.
Right. Now as an agency owner, that's definitely out the window, at least for the first year or two, because you're in a position, or you're in a mode where you want to grow
Hmm.
fast.
Yeah.
Right. So once you get to a point that you start to get comfortable, then you can start to, take your foot off the gas, depending on the kind of person you are. So,
Yeah. You're wearing multiple hats, and I like to think of myself like a firefighter. So I'm just putting out fires left, right. It's always something. But no, I feel like I still enjoy it. This is something I get up in the morning just like, yes, excited to do.
yeah,
Because like if you put in the work now, later down the line, you could just benefit from that work.
right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like I remember recently I was on vacation, right, quote unquote. And, and the reason why I say quote unquote is because even if you're on vacation, you still got to answer your phone,
Yeah.
right? So, just me being on vacation was me just visiting the family, and I would take maybe about 3 or 4 hours out my day and literally go through all of my emails, make sure I talk to everyone that I need to talk to.
Yeah.
And and again, on vacation, I still got to answer the phone. So if a client calls and they have my direct number, I can't just tell them, no, I'm on vacation. I pick up the phone and I talk to them. So
Exactly.
at that point, I feel like I pretty much got adjusted.
Yeah.
And like, vacation isn't like, it's not a mindset. It's just a place where you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be on vacation anywhere, but you still got to answer your phone.
Yeah. There was a video on TikTok that we put out about how there's millionaires in insurance and things like that, and it's got a lot of viewership.
Yeah.
And things like, so I just wanted to like go over like the finances of like owning like a business, like the earning potentials and things like that, where we can just talk about.
Yeah. I mean,
And
when it comes to like,
just start with expenses, probably.
Expenses?
I think everybody knows when expenses go. Most of it though.
what, I mean, it depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to grow an agency, a big agency fast, then you gotta hire a team.
Yeah.
I think employee expenses.
Payroll, of course. That's the number one expense.
Yep, and that's gonna take up maybe 25 to 30% of
Yeah.
your revenue.
Yeah.
Right. Second biggest expense is leads.
Yeah.
Right. referrals is good, right?
Yeah, free.
And because it's free, right?
free,
There's no cost. But what if the referral pipeline isn't coming in as fast as you want, right? You can't just wait for a lead to come in. Now you got to go and find ways to bring business to you. So paying for leads, that could be internet leads, that could be call-ins, that could be Google Ads. And speaking of Google Ads, I think the third one will be marketing,
Of course, yeah.
right? You got to find a way to market yourself as more than just an agent, right? What are you doing differently than the next agent?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Me personally, I remember one thing I did different than everybody else when I first started. As a PNC agent, nobody used to go to clients' homes to close policies, right? Everything was done over the phone, or it's the client will come to the office, right? So for me, I'm like, all right, look, I'm a young Black man. I look good, you know? Let me, if the client doesn't feel comfortable talking over the phone or handling business over the phone, I'll go to your house. I've traveled 45 minutes, hour and a half just to close one policy. And it don't matter the size either.
Yeah.
I just like closing policies.
Yeah. Do you remember your first sale?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Like, tell me about it.
So the first sale was closing a auto policy when I worked at Allstate. So during the time, it was this Caribbean man. He had I think it was like a 2014 BMW 5 Series, right? And he loved that car. The way he would talk about the car, it sounded like it was one of his kids. So I said, okay. And he had his insurance with Geico. So during that time, Allstate, how they branded their product, they branded it like a premium product. So I pretty much told him, I was like, hey, look, I am $20 more expensive, but I'm giving you a whole bunch of value, right? And, you know, right now you have Geico on a BMW. Would you ever put Toyota coverage on a BMW? And he was like, no. So I was like, yes, Allstate is BMW coverage. So you need BMW coverage on your actual BMW. And once we went through the coverages, he knew we were more expensive, but he still bought the policy because I sold it for value.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I don't remember my first sale, but I remember like my first, like, I think somebody said no to me.
Yeah.
So like, I was working at Allstate at the time. It was my first like major sale. Spoke to the client on the phone. They liked the price and everything. So the only thing is they was a little bit old and they didn't really like the technology and things like that. So I told them, I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna drive to you. I tried that approach, and they lived. So the office was located in Queens, and we live and they live like in Long Island, deep in Long Island.
Yeah.
So that Friday, I drove all the way to Long Island, and in the rain. So I'm new actually. I'm new to insurance, so I don't know everything. Like I don't know all the how to get over objections and stuff like that. So I drove over to the client's house. I had the new Beamer at the time. I was feeling myself like, yeah, had the Allstate shirt. I go in the house. I meet them, like we're talking. It's all good vibes and things like that. And then I bring out the paperwork. I show them how much they're gonna be paying and all that. And then they say, so how am I gonna get in contact with you? I'm like you can always call. They're like, but we got an Allstate agent that's down the street that has the same price. And I didn't know how to maneuver around there. So he's like, he actually called the Allstate agent, and the Allstate agent actually closed the deal.
Sheesh.
And then they was like, oh, you was nice and all that. And then I just ended up taking the drive home, and I was just like, damn.
Sheesh.
I forgot what I listened on my way back though. I think I listened to like Pop Smoke or something. I was like, all right. But when I came back though, like you, Shane and Brian was there, and then y'all just told me like, yo, like exactly like what I did wrong. And then I was just like, oh, it's not, I could have just took it that way and said that she could have went to the Allstate agent to make a payment, and like it'd have been fine.
Right.
And I didn't know how to maneuver, but that's like the point of the story is just know your stuff, know how to go get over objections and things like that, and you'll be fine. Basically, yeah.
And honestly, I feel like that was a good learning lesson.
That was a great learning. I burned gas, but it was good. It was good to get in front of somebody and just like practice film, like selling myself and selling the product. I would say, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, this is all we got for
Yeah.
today. If you guys have any questions on anything insurance related, feel free to reach out to us. Our Instagram handle is not so privileged.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Not so privileged.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But
We'll drop the
listed below.
details. Yeah, we'll drop the details.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. See you soon next episode.